Hello, all my model car building buddies. We still got model cars with Glenn, and I'm Glenn, and I'm turning professional at being Glenn. Okay, now what are we gonna do next? Let me check my notes. Oh, it's Don's picture. you know, I hope y'all like this one. Where's that flashlight? There it is. Oh, that didn't help a bit. Well, maybe a little. Okay. Anyway, this is my brother Don's picture. It is a black hole sucking in a bunch of planets. That's pretty cool. I like it. He got the picture from the Hubble and copied it onto here. And yeah, it's pretty sharp. Pretty sharp. Okay, next. From my buddies at Spotlight, I got this. You remember I got the 66 Chevelle? Told you I was going to make it look like my cousin's car. And working on it. Got the chassis painted. Right now it's clean, semi-flat black, which his was not. It was a Indiana car, so it's going to be rusty and dirty up underneath. But we'll get that once everything is on it. I got the front suspension on. That front suspension. I had to make motor mounts. I have to paint them yet, but they hold the Mr. Motor here like that. I'm going to turn this up. See, if you tell, it's leaning back just a little bit, which is how a motor sits in a car. And yeah, but see what I got is I got the exhaust. Let me get everything up here in front now where I can show you. Okay, this is the exhaust, and it's going to go, I don't know, it's going to go on here somewhere. Oh, it goes this way. I'm not smart. Don't try to tell me I am either. And see, it's got to hook up to the, like that. Okay, I got to get the headers on the motor. This has to be done in stages. The motor has to be installed with the headers. Then I can glue the back piece, little wiggly pipe here, to the end of this, and then fit it to the header with, put collector, those triangular collector clamps on it, and then have that hooked up to the header after the motor is installed. Then I could paint this. I'm going to paint it silver and then put it in and then attach the rear end over it because this goes in before the rear end. And it's black too, semi-flat black. And in the right order. Then I'm going to lay it down on the cardboard on the floor out in my shop area and stand up and spray red primer and let it go out and arc over and just rain, kind of like snow down on it from one end to the other to make it kind of dirty red, rusty looking, and it'll take the silver off the pipes, make them rusty silver looking. I hope. It might not. I'm thinking it might. I'm going to paint this silver too and let it get a little rusty on it. But yeah, that's where I'm at, and I can't do nothing until I get the motor ready and in it. Here's Mr. Motor right here. This is the motor out of the 66 Nova Pro Street. It was blue, which is an ugly color to have to paint red over, and it bled through. But that's okay because it looks like a greasy old motor, which is what Charles had in his car that I'm replicating here, a greasy old motor. But this is 327, got Edelbrock intake and Y-end valve covers, and it's got a Z28 cam in it. You can't see it, but I put a Z28 cam in it, and got the headers. Here, wait, hang on. I can't pick them up because my fingers are fumbly. These are the headers. I'll dirty them up a little more too. They're just primered red because they're looking like rusty old headers. Anyway, that is the catch-up on the 66 Chevelle. See, I got the interior. Hey, look at all the runs. That's sloppy, but that's me. And yeah, there you go. That's a catch-up on this. Now, I have been requested to show how I do on throttle linkage on the carburetor. So it's going to be a little involved. Let's see if I can get this up here to help. Yeah, this is dual quad intake, high rise. This come from the GTX Pro Street that's out now. Okay, and here is a carburetor. Oh boy, this is gonna be hard. Let me see. Okay, this is a carburetor, and I'm putting a linkage on the side of it, and I'm fixing to show you how to make that little linkage on the side there. That's all we're going to do today is we're going to put that linkage on. Let me get my fingers back behind it. And yeah, we're going to get that linkage, make it, and put it on there. So we got two just alike. And these are Dominators. Let me move this over. Yeah. Okay. And this is the other carb. And you can see a little hole in the side there. Right there, little hole. Now, what we need is a piece of this. This is wire with a solid center. And yeah, like that. So, oh boy, this is involved. Well, it looks like nothing, but it's a lot. Next, I gotta have the super glue, and I hope it's open. And I don't have to sit here for 5 minutes trying. No, it's open. And I'm going to dip this a little down in here to get some super glue on the end. And I'm going to shove it in this hole here. And then hold it for a minute and make sure it's sitting out straight in both directions. Dum-de-dum-de-dum-de-dum, sitting out straight in both directions. Okay, enough to set up. Now we got to do the hard part. This guy right here. Oh, there it is. Okay, this guy, it's just a strip of flat plastic about yay thin. And I use this hole maker here. And this is some small stuff, but I'm going to try to get it in frame. I use this hole maker here to make a hole in it. Now, if y'all ain't got one of these hole makers, you need to get you one, because you ain't going to do this without it. And, ow! You can poke yourself in the finger with it. It's got a lot more hole makers inside the handle here of different sizes. So, but this is one we want. And what I've done is I drilled a hole in it. And what I do with my knife, I'm supposed to have it out here. Nope, here it is. All right. Now, to get this down, there's a little like gun sight right here on my phone I found. If I keep it in that circle, it stays in that circle. It stays in focus. Now, after the hole is drilled, you got to take your knife. This is really hard. I'm reaching around the phone to do this, but you got to scrape it down one side and the other side until you get the same amount on both sides of that hole. That hole. Okay? And you can see this is wider. See where I drilled the hole to start with? And then I took and just scrape it down on either side, back and forth, until I get the hole right in the middle. And just for this episode, just for you people, I took the liberty of painting my thumb. Okay? And now I've got it pretty close. Next step is to take my spongy sandpaper here. I showed you about that. And like do a burnout with it, like this. And that not only rounds it out, but it takes off the little bit of that folds over the edge. See, it rounds the edge over. Whew, boy, this is difficult. Okay, now I got that. This guy, back, and now I got one of those, and it's as thin as I can make it. This here is as thin as my eyes will allow me to make. So, you know, if you guys got better eyes than me, and I hope you do, you can go ahead and make it as small as possible. But me, that's the best I can do. All right, now where's my clippers? Now I'm going to cut this off right about there, okay? And then I'm going to stick this on here through the hole, just like that. That's not hard, okay? Here's a little bitty piece of that sheathing that come off of that wire. Ah! See, this is hard for an old dude like me. This is why you don't see me doing this on all my models. But this is the way I do it, or used to do it. I don't do it so much anymore. And now, got to push that on there. Ta-da! Got it pushed on. Now I use my clippers, and I cut it off as short as possible, wire and all. And then with the super glue, I'm going to put the smallest known drop of super glue known to man right on the tip of it there. You don't want to glue this guy on yet. He needs to be mobile. He needs to be where you can move him still, and that'll come later. You'll see. Now, when this super glue, let me get the extra off. When that gets dry, we're gonna. What in the world did I had all this stuff out so I could use it? I am so stupid sometimes. Oh, here it is. This is 320, wet or dry. I use it dry, and once this super glue is set up good, I'm going to take this. Boy, this is difficult for me. And go back and forth on it. And what you want to do is get it sanded down just as thin as humanly possible. And then clip off this extra. It'll fly across the room, but we'll just store it over there. Okay? And the top is still square and it ain't got a hole in it, but don't worry about that. You want to keep it there. Now, that super glue I put on there, I just scuffed off out because there. I put a little bit more on. Now, we can go back to the other carburetor and I'll show you. See, I took that 320 sandpaper and I went back and forth on it until I got it down to its thinnest. And then I put another drop of super glue on it, which you can see. It got bigger, you know. But that's not a problem because super glue sands easy. And you got to get that green sheathing piece down just as small as possible because it represents a nut on the end of it there. And I might have to clean it up a little bit because I got a little crazy with the super glue. But like I said, you know, it's hard for me to do. Okay? Now that is the first step. You got to have both of these on your carburetors. This one is correct. It's the right length. It just sticks up past the carb a little. And this one still needs to be shortened up a little bit. And it needs to have the green sanded down to the thinnest. Okay. Anyway, that's all for this one. I can't show you no more than that because I'm already at 13 minutes. And, woo! This is not easy, but it's very satisfying when you get done. It'll be cool. You watch. It'll be cool. All right. I was gonna, Jason over at Blue Ox, he had a thing on his last show. How do we decide what models we want to build next? Well, that can be a process, I guess, but for me, it's kind of easy. I'll just go over to my stash